Hey, Long Beach. It's Jerlene, former candidate of the Long Beach Unified School District. Give me just a moment. Trying to make sure. So I'm on Instagram right now. Instagram. I'm also streaming to Facebook, to my personal Facebook page as well as my campaign page. So I've been down, y'all, and it wasn't because I was not the victor in this election. It's because I hurt my ankle on election day. I've been hobbling around. Today was a good day. I was actually able to kind of walk on my foot. So give me just a moment. I'm trying to make sure that I am showing everywhere I'm supposed to be showing right now and give people an opportunity to get here. So again, it's Jerlene, former candidate of the Long Beach Unified School Board race. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube right now, the screen that you see pulled up is the election results that are posted on LA, I believe it's lavote.gov. So if you're checking out the election results, I'll be reading those off in just a moment. Just again, give me just a few moments to finish. I'm going to pull some folks in. Okay, let's see. Make sure I'm showing everywhere I'm supposed to be showing. I don't want to accidentally. Okay, give me a moment. I may be mute for just a moment, but I'm still here. Just trying to pull some stuff in. Okay, there it goes. Just give me just a moment. Actually, I should be doing this from my phone. Okay, so it is Sunday, March, or not March. Is it March? Yeah, March 10th. 5 days since the election. Apologies for taking so long to get to y'all, but actually I've been just relaxing and getting some rest. It's been good. Falling and hurting my ankle actually turned out to be a real blessing because it forced me to be still, And as you see, I'm smiling. This is a real smile, y'all. Nothing fake about it. Feel really good. For those who've been paying attention, you know that I was not successful in winning this race, but it is absolutely okay. And just give me just a moment and I will be telling you more. Like I said, I'm just trying to pull some people in because these are going to be pretty much my closing remarks. And I just want to make sure that people hear them and that they share them. And I want to be able to thank people who've been a part of this journey. So again, just give me a moment as I share this with folks. Just give me just a moment. Pulling people in. People who've been supportive of me along the way. All right. Facebook said I shared enough. So again, it's Jerlene. Let me make sure that I'm able to hear myself. Okay. All right. 5 days ago was our election here in California. Hey, Carrie, I see Carrie is watching via YouTube. So right now this is streaming to my campaign YouTube page, my Facebook YouTube page. No, my Facebook campaign page, my Facebook primary page, as well as I am streaming to my primary page of my Instagram. That's what it looks like I'm on right now. So I want to begin one. So if you're watching the screen, let me go here. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you can see that I have a screen pulled up, and the screen that's pulled up, it shows the election results. So I'm going to read those election results. Jerlene L. Tatum, that's me. 26.73% of the vote. That was 2,336 votes. Eric Miller, 73.27% of the vote, 6,404 votes. Now, this is most likely not the final tally, but this is the numbers as of yesterday. I believe yesterday, March 9th. So over the next few weeks, more numbers are going to come in. But for the last 3 days, I've pretty much maintained a 26% of the vote. And I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. So for those who are not, and one thing, when I started out this race, I told people, I was not running against an opponent. I was running for my community. So unfortunately, my community does not get me as their representative, although I'm still going to keep serving. So I'm going to, let me pull this down. All right. And if people are out there watching, give me some thumbs up, show me some love. Let me know that you're here. Okay. So I have written out a message. Yes, I actually have notes. I normally don't write out this much stuff, y'all, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So I've broken this down in several parts. A part of it is my thank you and gratitudes. Part of it is reflections. And the other part is perspective and the beautiful parts. So I've kind of broken down what I'm going to say. I'm going to try to do this in under 20 minutes. Hopefully I can do it in under 15. I've already been talking for 6 minutes. All right. So to begin, message to voters. To the voters that I encountered along the way, I just want you to know, each one of you, it was a pleasure to have met you. Thank you for taking the time. Now I'm getting emotional. Just want y'all to know I've not been emotional since this happened. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me and my volunteers. Voters who chose the incumbent because they were the incumbent, because you chose to believe the mailers, the half a dozen mailers you received, and the multiple texts you received. I hope that you spend the next few years holding your re-elected board member accountable. Okay. To the voters that I met, thank you for educating me. Thank you for enlightening me. Thank you for the words of encouragement. And I look forward to continuing relationships with some of those of you that I've met, that I have held on to your contact information. So I want to say thank you. To donors and supporters, thank you for believing in me and what I stand for. Thank you to the folks that pulled money from their savings for me. Thank you to those who made sacrifices and made small yet some of the most meaningful contributions. Thank you to the people that reacted, commented, shared my social media posts. Thank you for helping me to push the algorithms. I know there are folks that thought that my social media efforts were fruitless. Yet when someone you have never met beyond the virtual world makes a donation of $1,000 to your campaign, or when a voter stops you in the store and says, hey, I follow you, I know I made an impact and I made a difference. To my volunteers, thank you for your time. One thing that is never, that I think is the most valuable, is someone giving of their time. So I really appreciate to the volunteers that walked for me, called for me, knocked on doors, and just sharing this experience with me, for people who walked with me, and my children who are also my volunteers, my reluctant volunteers. I thank them as well. Okay. I want to have some messages for some other folks. So let me all right, are y'all ready for this? This is one thing that I attempted. I wouldn't say attempted. One thing that I was true to doing when I entered into this race was to, one, always be my authentic self, have fun. Well, that's just two things, right? That was two things. Be my authentic self, have fun, and educate people in this process. One thing that was challenging for me is that I did have to reduce some of my voice, meaning I had to focus on my campaign, and I could not address the naysayers, and I could not engage in conversation that was related to or about the incumbent. I had to focus on me. So now I'm going to take some time to address some things that I did not get to address the way I would have liked to while I was running the campaign. To the party people, and this is the people, mostly the Democratic Party people, to the party people that were complaining, that complain about the people that support the GOP. about how they lack integrity, liars, manipulators. You're hypocrites. You are a mirror image of that which you claim you despise. You yourself supported a candidate that ran on lies and manipulation. Also, our children are nonpartisan. So the decisions related to the future and welfare of education should be a nonpartisan issue. Making decisions based on politics and party preference only hurts our public school education. To the incumbent folks, to the folks that supported the incumbent merely because they were the incumbent, to the folks that never attended a school board meeting, who's never looked at the data or outcomes, who know nothing about the policies of our school district, who are enamored by the ideas of power and position, you are a reason our children are continuing to fail in Long Beach. And until you care more about holding leadership accountable than a photo op, our future will be doomed. To the Teachers Union of Long Beach, the Teachers Association of Long Beach, it is sad that you chose, or that you continue to choose, to play politics instead of meeting the needs of your paid membership, educators. To TALB members, I hope you all are paying attention. Your bargaining unit campaign on lies about what your endorsed candidate has done to support you. Got another one, and I'm going to tie this all together in just a moment, so just be patient. To Black leaders, because one question that was asked of me often is, why is so-and-so not supporting you? And this came from many people who were non-Black. And so this is something that came multiple times. So I'm addressing it right now. To Black leaders that said they would not support me because I'm too controversial and that I'm always up against everything. I feel sorry for you and that you are afraid of your own voice. I am sad for you because your pretend leadership has continued to fail the Black community, especially our youth. I am sad that you are more enamored with title and position and the success of one over our community. If standing for Black people, and if standing for everyone else in my community, Black or not, is controversial, I will continue to be controversial. Lastly, my apologies if my confidence bumps up against your insecurities. I will keep you in my prayers. Now, people are like, oh my gosh, she sounds so bitter. No, I'm not. I'm just I'm addressing some things that came up that I decided that I was going to just let go during the campaign. To the people who said, I know she would not win. I feel sad for your apathy. Just imagine how you could have made a contribution, whether it had been of your time or money, how you could have made a difference. Yet instead, you chose to stand by as a spectator. I may have not won the election, but I won so much more. I'm going to talk about that. I ran on facts, not fiction, unlike the incumbent. I ran on my own name, unlike the incumbent, who ran on the coattails of others. Few people knew his name, matter of fact. So when you go back to the data that I shared, and let me bring this back up. Give me just a moment. I want to bring these. Clicked on the wrong thing. Hold on. So I know Instagram, if you're watching, you can't see this. But give me just a moment. Let me bring this back up. All right. So, I'm sure that people are thinking, oh my gosh, look at those results. You should be embarrassed. No, I am not embarrassed at all. I am not. The reason why, I'm giving this perspective. So as of yesterday, and this may change over the next few weeks, I received about nearly 20% of the vote, with 1/5 of the funds that was made available to Miller. And I'm going to say made available, not fundraised, made available to Miller. In campaigning, how much money a person raises is significant. Yet if you remove the $50,000+ that he received from one organization, the teachers union, and the money that he received from campaign accounts of other politicians, such as the mayor and multiple council members. And if you again, perspective, the incumbent began raising money in January of 2023. I only began raising money in October. I out fundraised him. So when you look at these numbers, the 26.73% up to the 73.27%, that's significant. I earned 2,300 votes with 1/5 of the money, 27% with 1/5 the money. Could have done more, had people who were afraid to get in the game had supported me. But it's okay. Again, I'm not bitter about it at all. I mean, it is what it is. And like I said, this has been a tremendous learning experience. What's really sad to me, though, is when you combine the numbers together, it's barely over 8,000 voters. Area 2 has 54,000 voters. 54,000 registered voters. 5,4,0,0 voters. So someone who's been in office for 4 years almost wins a re-election with approximately 6,000 votes. Collectively, less than 6% of the 54,000 voted. That's very sad and disheartening. Okay? That's really sad and disheartening. So I'm not sad about my numbers. I'm sad about the numbers as a whole. All right. Going down my notes, people. So as I was called a grassroots candidate. I consider myself a community candidate. Something that was very significant. I was able to reach over 16,000 voters. Now that's low when you compare that to the 54,000, but in campaigning, you got to go off the voters who are considered the high propensity voters, right? 16,000 voters, 3 mailers, 3 text messages, multiple ads. The reason why is because that money that I raised, every dollar went to reach a voter. And it was money that I raised. Okay. The incumbent Miller, he used taxpayer dollars to have a media questionnaire completed by the superintendent of schools. Over $150,000 was made available to him, and he only received 6,000+ votes and has been in office for over 40 months. But then that might explain why when he had a town hall, so-called town hall during his campaign, only one voter showed up outside of his campaign camp. One person. Problematic. So what was I up against? There was a whisper campaign that was facilitated by an elected official that holds the highest seat in our local government, telling supporters, my supporters and potential supporters, that I have enemies and do not support me. I confronted that person face to face. My daddy didn't raise no punks. Also, the person created barriers by bullying organizational leaders into endorsing the incumbent. And if they did not, they would not get the future support that they would want from this person. That was a barrier I was up against. I still succeeded in securing votes and connecting with voters and reaching over 16,000 people. So to the folks that decided to not vote and wait to the runoff, you missed out. To the people who decided to not support me into a runoff, please better educate yourself on local elections in the process. So the folks that didn't keep their word, I see you. To people who did not support me because they heard something about me, sorry to inform you, this ain't high school. To the people that were afraid to support me because they were afraid of retaliation, I hope that you find the strength and courage to stand for yourself and the principles that you claim you stand for. I'm almost done, y'all. So, folks have asked me that I congratulate Miller for his reelection. I acknowledged him. I acknowledged, and I'll read it to you. So give me a second. Let me pull this up. I will read it. I want you guys to hear exactly what I stated. So I did a phone call, made a phone call, as well as left a text message. Okay, give me just a moment. Apologies, I thought I had this pulled up. Okay, I'll pull that up. I'll come back to that in just a moment. So what did I gain from this? I believe my leadership is enhanced. I've considered myself a storyteller of telling stories of others. But I've never been confident in telling my own story or even talking about myself. This campaign pushed me to tell people about me, and it pushed me to acknowledge my own work and contributions to my community and this city. I was able to meet and connect with people would not have had an opportunity had I not run. I mean, can you imagine me just knocking on people's doors and be like, hey, I'm Jerlene. This gave me an opportunity to meet people where they are and hear their stories and learn about the issues. And I met parents and educators and grandparents and homeowners. And I was able to encourage people to look into our education system. I am now much more knowledgeable and educated on issues in Long Beach. And let's see, I'm still, sorry, I got a little sidetracked, y'all. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to share that in just a moment. All right, I'm almost done with my next. Oh, let me read this and then I'm going to close out with the beautiful parts. Actually, I'm going to show some of these comments. I'm just going to show these comments for a minute while I catch myself. These are comments coming in. I've received some of the most amazing and beautiful messages the last few days as I've been laid up with my ankle, unable to move. You know, someone asked, did the superintendent controversy help promote Miller? I don't know if it did or not. One thing that I do know is that people are not aware of what's really going on in our city. People know more about what's going on with the Grammys or what's going on with some actors' personal relationships than they know what's going on in our local government. And that's just it. I mean, it's really sad. That's the situation. I mean, people could probably tell you about the newest chicken sandwich has been released, but they can't tell you who our school board member is. And that was the one thing that I encountered. People didn't even know who the school board member was. And, you know, one thing that I limited, I only mentioned the school board's member name like twice. And one of them was in relationship to the article that came out about the school board member utilizing or the incumbent utilizing taxpayer dollars to have the superintendent answer his questions for the questionnaire. Okay. So I want to read this. So folks have asked, have I really wish I would have, let me see if I can, I really wish I would have typed or shared this on the screen. I called the reelected school board member and left a voice message and also left sent a text message. So I'm gonna read the message that I sent. I'm calling to acknowledge your successful reelection. I hope that in your second term, you actually make a commitment to the district you were elected to serve, and that you actually work to make the things you claim to have been successful at in your campaign materials a reality for LBUSD. I will continue to be committed to serving our students and families. Myself and others, parents, will continue to hold you and the board accountable. Be well. That is the message that I sent. Because one thing that I will continue to do is do what I've been doing before. Oh, and something that I do need to mention, and I need to, when I talked about lies and manipulation, claims were made in the school board members' materials that were not true. There was a claim that he had increased the number of school counselors. That's false. There was a claim that Miller has improved graduation rates in LBUSD. If I've not seen that data, I would love for someone to show me that data. We always said voted for new school safety programs. Yeah, I was at the table that helped push those new school safety programs and presented to the board on that. This right here is major, you all, and I have to. This is a problem. This was a text message that was sent out on behalf of the Incumbents campaign. Will ensure local residents get jobs on the renovations of Washington Middle School and Poly High School campuses. School board member does not have the authority to do any such thing. And such statement that was made is false. That such statement that was made is false and fabricated. School board member does not do that. That is not the role or responsibility to be able to ensure that local residents get hired. Now, yes, there should be a local hire thing in plan, but for it to be utilized as a campaign piece is wrong. Something else that happened after I released my points. Miraculously, many of my points became his campaign points. But people say that that's campaigning, right? But what it lets me know that he doesn't have an original thought. So I'm going to close this out now, unless anyone has any questions or comments that they would like to share with me. The beautiful parts. One of the most beautiful parts about this all, other than being able to meet and connect with community members, my children they voted with me. My 2 adult children are voting age. My 19-year-old was able to vote, and she got to see her mother on the ballot. And so that was a beautiful moment for me. So there's so many wins that I have, and what I will continue to do, there's so many people that I've crossed along the paths that I've crossed. I will work my hardest to continue to tell some of those stories about my experience of campaigning. I will continue to be me in community. I will continue to be my authentic self. I will continue to be available. I will continue to fight for children and parents and wherever there is need. And let me make sure that I get everything, that I cross everything off. Yeah, I finished all pages of my notes. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to just those that believed in me and those that took the time to get to know me. And I'm in such a place of happiness and gratitude right now. And I was, the moment, the numbers started, well, when the numbers first started coming in, I felt a little discouraged for 10 minutes. And then I had to laugh at myself because I had a messed up leg. And that's it. Still going to be here. Still going to be Jerlene. Still going to be informing, engaging, inspiring. Thank you for being part of this journey. And as my one mentor says, onward and upward. That's all we got. Peace. Be well. Please share, like, comment this video. Make sure that the haters hear it. And see you all soon.